Ba-da-da-bow! Hey everyone, welcome to the show. It's me, JP, and this is JP's product pick of the week. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for hopping into the chat over on YouTube as well as our Discord. The other places you might be watching this, like Twitch, don't seem to have a. Oops, I've broken the Discord. Let me fix that. Don't seem to have a chat. That is because I can't pay attention to that many things at once as demonstrated. But this place right here is a good place to check out. It's our YouTube chat. Over in the, that's the Discord. Over in the YouTube, hey Dave Odessa and Tackle the World. Hello OG Thinkster and Justin Kovacic, if I've gotten your name right, I hope. Andrew Farnsworth, hello. Beatagraf Avdalhagen, hello. And then we've also got this. This is the Discord chat. And you can stop on over by at adafruit.it/discord and look for the live broadcast chat channel. Hello, Sam J. Ohio. Howdy, Todd Bott. Hey, C. Grover. Hey, Blitz City DIY. Hello, Paul Cutler. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Thin Man. So let's do a thing here. What do we got going on? I have, hey, Quinman16, just jumped into the chat. I have a new product pick for you. And I'm gonna go check and see. Did it adjust price? It probably did. No? Uh-oh, something's gone funny with it, hasn't it? All right. Well, I'll work on that as the show. There it goes. It just fixed itself. Awesome. So who just mentioned that? Sam J. Ohio, go check because I think it's now fixed. Thanks so much to the product team, New Products, for taking care of a whole bunch of things to make all of this work, including stashing 100 of these before the show, setting the price, bring the price back up after the show. That's how it works. I show you a cool thing. I give you a little bit of a demo. We take the price and just cut it in half during the show. You can watch this show from inside the product page. And that product page is that right there. So go over and check it out. It's product 5400. You can buy them right now if you want. We don't do back orders or anything like that. So it's just during the show. And no coupon codes are needed. But before I get ahead of myself and tell you about this, I'm going to have Lady Ada jump back just a little bit in time and give you the new perspective on this week's product pick. Take it away, Lady Ada.
This is a really big, fresh upgrade to the Feather ESP32, one of our most popular feathers. Because of the chip shortage, I can't get CP2104s anymore. That's the USB serial chip. And so I had to update to the CP2102, which has a slightly different schematic usage. And so it was like, well, I got to go fix that up to revise this board so I can keep manufacturing it. And then before you know it, I kind of like remodeled the whole thing. So the whole board has gotten like a huge update, which is great. So let's just stop here because I can point at it while it's nice and big. On the right there, it used to be a Waroom module, and now it's the Pico module. The Pico module is an ESP32 with 8 megabytes of flash and 2 megabytes of PS RAM. So that's twice the amount of flash and then extra PS RAM that was not available on the original ESP32. That's super handy if you're buffering data or you just want like, you want to have a camera interface or a buffer a display output, read large JSON files, parse them. That PS RAM is so handy. And the ESP, IDF, and Arduino just natively just map that memory in, and so you can use it. It's not as fast as the SRAM, but it's great for, again, large data buffering. To the lower left of that, there's a new NeoPixel on it. The ESP32 did not have a NeoPixel. Now it does. And the power pin is on another GPIO, so you can go into low power usage. And that's another thing. We really optimize this feather for better low power support. So the NeoPixel can be turned off, and then there's a separate LDO right above it for the Stemma QT connector. That's the kind of yellow 4-pin connector above that. You can get down to 70 microamps of power draw while in deep sleep for the ESP32, which is pretty good because you can wake up from deep sleep with the RTC on at any timer interval you'd like. The Stemma QT port is also new on there. It's a vertical port and allows you to connect any of our dozens of Stemma QT, or you can use a Grove adapter to connect Grove I2C sensors, or from SparkFun, their quick sensors. Or there's a lot of companies now making sensors with this adapter cable, so it's plug and play, no soldering required, and you can turn off power separately to this port, again with that GPIO pin. There is a USB serial converter, which is now updated to a CP2102. It can now do 3 megabits. There's also an extra tactile button on pin 38. And the USB has been updated from micro B to USB-C. So you can see like a lot of new stuff. It's pretty much pin compatible with the original Feather ESP32. All the numbers are on the back. The named pins like SDA, SCL, MOSI, MISO, S-Clock, TX, and RX, those did change the underlying pin number because in order to get the PS RAM, one pin disappeared, and once one pin disappears, it kind of turns into this, every pin has to sort of change, and so the numbered pins didn't change, and the analog pins didn't change, but the named I2C, SPI, and UART pins did change. So just in your code, you'll have to recompile it, which you'll need to anyways to take advantage of the extra flash and PS RAM, because you have to select a new board support package. Just make sure you use the words like MOSI, MISO, SDA, SCL, RX, TX, and that will automatically translate into the numbers. Don't use the underlying like pin 7 names for it. But otherwise, this should work, drop in with pretty much any of your Feather ESP32 projects. And it's just a big upgrade around just everything got upgraded and updated. It's so much better. More pin labels on the top. So I'm really psyched to release this. More mounting holes. So good.
So good. Yes, indeed. That's my product pick of the week this week. It is the Feather ESP32 V2 with 8 megs of PS RAM and 2 megs of flash. Did I get that right? Why do I feel like I said that totally backwards? What do you have? Where's my notes? I've now lost my notes on it. Yeah, flash, and I'm gonna do that and over because I completely backwards did it. That right there is my product pick of the week this week. It is the Feather ESP32 V2 with 8 megs of flash and 2 megs of PS RAM. Whew! So this is a really cool board, particularly for, as I've recently discovered, for WLED stuff. So you can use this for Arduino, CircuitPython, Whippersnapper, but a really neat use is for WLED because it's got the Wi-Fi on there, so you can talk to it remotely from things like your phone running the WLED app, and then you can run smaller applications of it wirelessly and without any plug-in power, just over LiPo battery, because being a Feather, it's got the LiPo battery support on there. So I'll show you a little demo using that. But before I get ahead of myself, let's take a look at. Here is the main page. Someone asked about the discount code. I think that is all good and live now. So there you can see there's the product page for it. So right now, just during this show, for about the next 20 minutes or so, half price, $9.98. A really nice price for an ESP32 board, especially one packed with features, packed with these kinds of Feather features, USB-C, LiPo charging. We have a Stemma QT port on it. We have a user button that you can use. We have the standard Feather layout, so you can plug it into Feather doublers and triplers and quadruplers, add on other boards. You can add Feather wings to it. And this is, I should mention, the PCB antenna version only, so that there's no external antenna needed. We do have a external antenna version, but that one is out of stock right now. So this is just going to apply to this one right here, where you can see it's just got the PCB trace antenna built into the package there. This is the ESP32 Pico. I know that name gets used a million times all over the place, so it gets confusing, but we call this the V2 of this Feather, but it's the sort of revised version of this ESP32 package. It's a little smaller than the old one used to be, so we have more room on there for things. Let's take a look at, if you scroll down on this main product page, you'll get to a link for the Learn Guide right here. So if you check out the primary Learn Guide, this gives you, thanks to Liz for putting this together, this gives you some nice close-up photos there. You can take a look at the silk screen on it, revised and beautiful. And then we have info about all of the different pins on here. We have, if you scroll up, info about low power usage. So you can put this into really low power mode to save battery if you're doing remote stuff, and then wake it up as needed. Including things like the onboard NeoPixel pin can just be disconnected from power, so it isn't just sitting there wasting your precious battery. go into different sleep modes: normal, power mode, light sleep, and deep sleep mode. We have a little section here on power management and how to power the board. And then we have instructions for doing CircuitPython. You're going to use something like a web workflow. We don't have a USB drive on this one, so it's a little different than some CircuitPython boards, but there's a setup here that'll tell you how to get going. We have the Arduino setup, so you can go and use Arduino. Whippersnapper, great for whippersnapper stuff. MicroPython as well. And then what I went and did was this right here, install WLED. So you can plug it in to the computer over USB. You will probably require, depending on what you've got on your system, require a Scilab's USB to serial software added to your machine, just so that you can talk to it enough to get the software on there. Once it's on there, you're going to do everything wirelessly. So let's take a look at a little demo of this in action. I will switch over to this view. Actually, let me go to this view for a second. So you can see there's my Feather, ESP32. Here is an 8x8 NeoPixel in a nice little case. I've got a battery, little LiPo battery there, and I'm going to plug it into a Feather Proto board that allows me to connect up to those beautiful glowing NeoPixels there. And you can see this is no wires attached, right? No wires, and I'm gonna just set it there and go to my web browser, or I can do it on the phone. I'll show you that in a second, but this might be a little easier for you to see. So here is WLED, and I'm just gonna power it off and on right here just to make sure we're talking to the right board. I have a few of these WLED things around. So this right now is just in sort of solid mode. I can go and pick colors and send them from the color wheel there. We can then also go to different effects. So let's pick some of these here. So you can see this is all just being sent wirelessly. I can go pick different code to send to it. You can also do things like sound reactive and more interactive things, but I'm just gonna, here, I'll put this into the matrix mode here. I'm just gonna use a few of the little presets on here. So really great board for that because we've got lots of power on the ESP32, lots of memory, and it is connected over Wi-Fi. So a really neat board for WLED projects. This is a nice little simple one to get your feet wet on, which is using a 8x8 matrix. You'll notice in WLED here, if we go to our 2D configuration, there's all sorts of nice setup here where you can tell it the topology of your NeoPixels in the board. And we can also even do a little peek at what it thinks it's sending to sort of verify that you've got, you're sending it what you think you're sending it. So let me take that peek off of there. That is one use. There's, of course, a million uses for Feather board. You can use it for general purpose things, but I find for this one in particular, ESP32 really great for Wi-Fi enabled stuff, such as Whippersnapper for IoT projects and WLED for LED projects. So if you're thinking of doing some holiday display stuff, check out a number of guides that we have on WLED. In fact, I noticed if you go, let's go over to learn.adafruit.com. If you type in WLED, you'll see a number of projects here, a bunch that Aaron has done, as well as the Ruiz brothers. I think on this latest one here, Holiday Lights, most recent one that she's put, I think she even calls out this particular board as sort of the premier board that we have, because you can do WLED on a bunch of our different ESP32 boards, but this one is a really nice one to work with if you've thought about doing WLED projects. I recommend that one, and more importantly, Erin does. She's the expert on WLED. So let's see, what else have we got here? That's the main facts. You can head back over to find the main site. There we go, main site here. And if I refresh, we should still have these in stock. Yeah, so you can get up to 10 of these. So depending on how big your plans are, you can save a whole bunch of money. Grab a bunch of these, throw them in your cart. And then you may want to pair that up with some batteries potentially, some NeoPixels, depends on what kind of displays you want to do. Right, let's see, any questions in the chats? Let me bring those up and see what's going on. Let's see. Thank you, Janisku. Yep, discount is up. Let's see. That says admittedly would have liked to see 2 I2C channels broken out between the connectors and the named pins. Oh yeah, I don't, some of our boards do, I think, have, particularly Cutie Pies have 2 different sets of I2C channels, I think, if I'm remembering right, between the STEMMA QT port and the pins. I actually don't know what the options are with the ESP32, if that's something we weren't able to do there for a reason. Andrew Farnsworth mentions WLED has very good integration with Home Assistant, so you can control your WLED devices based on events as well. That's pretty cool. And that reminded me, I did want to show, here is the phone app for that. I'll put this under the down shooter so you can see it. So this is WLED on my phone. You can see there's 2 that I've got on this network right here. This one, I think, is the one behind me, and this one is the one right here. Oh, no, maybe not. Let's see. There we go. That's this one. So here, this is just a little bit different UI, slightly different UI for mobile, so I can go to a separate effects page and go and pick through some pre-made effects, which are nice. And those can be combined with their effects as well as the color palettes on them. So there's a lot of nice, there's like a DNA strand one, or a Lissajous. Here's a nice Lissajous pattern, which I think looks really good with a solid color. It's a little small on this display, but you can go up to many, many NeoPixels with that. So there you go. I think if there aren't any other questions, we can wrap it up right there. So that right there is my product pick of the week this week. It is the Feather ESP32 V2. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week. See you next time. Bye-bye.